Okay, the next thing now is for a fresh store, for a new store, the first thing you need to do is you come to configurations and click on edit base configuration. It's actually the first thing you need to do. Edit base configuration. Okay, so from here you see there's a long list with a lot of fields. So here, depending on your currency, so for this example, I'm going to use Naira. You could use dollar, could be this, use Naira. Then the admin mobile number, because this admin mobile number allows the system know the mobile number to send SMS notifications to each time a new customer signs up on the site, or each time an order is placed, or their key activities on the site. If you observe, it has the country code in front of it without the preceding zero. That is very important so that the system will know exactly where to route the SMS to. Then your admin page URL, sample.vistonetwork.com. And once the domain is created, this will have to be changed. Then the name of the site. So I'm going to call the site samplewares. Samplewares. The meta keyword, like online shopping, say female, male, comma, wears, designers, hot deals, sales, or depend things that a lot of people as in search for, like the keywords people search for: designers, for wears, male wears, female wears, and things like that. You just type them in maximum of 150 characters. Then here you describe in maximum of 250 characters what the site is all about. So an online store for all kinds of male and female outfits. You can keep going on and on and on and on, but maximum of 250 characters. Then the site domain name, that's the domain name. Then the site domain name with www, but since we are still using the sample, you just leave it like this until you've registered the real domain for it. This field is if you want to link up this your store to ERP Revolution. ERP Revolution is a standalone business management application, that is still designed by M-Office Portal International. So you can have your business management app running offline, but your VStore also running online, and you tie two of them together so that whenever there's an activity on either the offline app or the online app, each time you synchronize, the system will transmit the data. Then you might want to upload your product list to different price and checking or verification sites, because a lot of people, before they buy online, they go to different sites to compare prices. So for example, in Nigeria you have pricecheck.com.ng. You can sign with pricecheck.com.ng, put generate an authentication key and use this key to get going. Then the title of SMS, maximum of 11 characters. I'm going to call this one sample. Yes, you can see that's just 11 characters. Then you need to get a Google Analytics ID. To get a Google Analytics ID, first you must have a Gmail account. Then you visit Google Analytics. You visit Google Analytics. And get a Google Analytics account. you know, you can sign in. You have to sign in. If you don't have a Gmail account, then you have to, create an account. So I'll show you that one especially. Then this one is the XML API access URL for SMS. So there's already a site called My PA. So in order to receive SMS, you have to visit www.mofficeportal.com/bb. A form will appear. You just fill this form and submit. When you fill this form and submit, you get your org ID, your user ID, and password. All you need to do is to pick those three informations and key them in here. The org ID, the user ID, and the password. It will actually be sent to your email. Then if you have an office address, you change this to, let's say, number 1 Sample Avenue, Office. Then your email address. Let's assume the email address for this company is it's all good. Specify@yahoo.com. Then the contact mobile number that will appear on the site. You can have multiple numbers. Then your BB pin, if any. So I'll just put your Twitter ID, if any, Facebook URL, if any, UCOS ID, if any, Google Plus ID, if any, Skype ID, if any. All these information will appear on your contact us page. But if you don't key in anything here, it will be blank. Then show product price on product listing. If you want your product prices to show, you keep this, you set this to 1. If you don't want your product prices to show, just want the product and the description only. If you're selling things that you don't want people to know the prices except they call in, you change this to 0. Then the product label. What do you want the product label? Some might call it wares. If you're selling cake, you might want to change it to cake. If you're selling furniture, you might want to change it to furniture. If you're selling gadgets, you might want to change it to gadgets. But product is more, generic, and it can fly for any kind of thing. Then some companies run special offer. Some call it sale. Some call it promo. And some call it hot deals, depending on what you choose to call your own. What person the owner of the store is interested in. Then here you can see it's called as in the area of classifying products. We've thought of different ways of making the site look very presentable. So if we look at this particular store, you can see we have product category, we have class, that's for ladies, for men, while here we have casual shoes, clearance, men chinos, perfume, wristwatches, while for designers we have different kinds of designers, and the list can be as long as what you want it to be. If you look at this other store, the person decided to call his own price range, classification, and brand stroke designer. While if you look at this particular store, they decided to call it product category and age bracket. So it depends on what you really want to achieve. So I'll just change this to product category. So we are building a boutique, and since it's actually the site, we're actually using the sample site for wear, for clothes. a manufacturer will not be appropriate. The best thing here will be designer or made by or tailored by or but manufacturer will not really be the best thing. And since we're dealing with clothes, you would observe that for clothes, people relate with colors and people relate with sizes. So in order to enable color, I'll change it 0 to 1 and allow preferred color when adding items to cart. I'll leave it there. Size, since people is a clothing store, so people deal with sizes, you change 0 to 1. I'll also allow preferred size when adding items to cart. Show welcome page on home page. If you want to have a page other than the product page, you change this from 0 to 1. Then show social networking, share this tool. If we look at this site, you notice this is appearing here because on this particular store, this field is set to 1. But if we don't want it to appear, we can set it to 0. Then allow shipping information stroke costing. If you want to build a site where you want people to see the different delivery rates to different locations, then you would want to set this to 1. Otherwise, you set it to 0. Next field is for people that want to stock inventory. You want someone to see the quantity of each item that you have in stock. You set this to 1. But if you don't want the customers to know exactly what you have or quantity of what you have in stock, you set it to 0. Then the next field is where you choose the number of items you want system to appear per page. If you look at this one is set to 9, 3, 6, 9. But if you look at this, you have more. You have a lot more than 9 products on this page. Why? Because it can be controlled from here, but it has to be multiple of 3. So you see 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and so on and so on. But it's not advisable to keep this number very high so that people browsing with mobile devices and all of that can still get your site to load easy and faster. Then number of days after which unpaid invoices are deleted. You can set the number of days, but if you don't want to tamper with that part of the site, you leave it set to 0. Then show special labels. There's some sites you visit and you see things like hot deals, just arrived, sold out of stock, things like that. It's because of a field like this. So if you want such feature to appear on your site, you set this to 1. If you don't want it to appear, you set it to 0. But before I click on the save button, I'll quickly open another browser. And go through the site. Sample VStore. Also take a look at what this site currently looks like before clicking on the submit button. If you look at this, you can see that the social networking tool is active. Aside that the social networking tool is active, you can see we have class, category, manufacturer. The site is still called my virtual store. All right, reserve, and it's still red. So I'm going to submit, save. This green bar shows that the configurations have been saved successfully. So I'll come here and refresh. First, you notice that it's no longer showing my virtual store, it's showing welcome to sample wares. And this has changed from category to product category. This has changed from manufacturer to designer. This place has also changed from my virtual store to sample wares. So that's basically how you control what shows here. And if you look at this, you notice that the social networking tool is also not active. Why? Because here is set to 0. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to change the website templates.